afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alicia Garrett with the Tennessee Society of CPAs. I'm here at the beautiful Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina, celebrating the 89th annual meeting and convention. I have the honor of sitting with Bill Reeb, chair of the AICPA, the American Institute of CPAs. Bill, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So Bill just did a session this morning on reimagine, and in one of your very first slides, you had a quote by Seth Godin. Seth is one of my all-time heroes. It said, "The easiest thing to do is react, the second easiest is to respond, and the hardest is to initiate." Bill, tell us a little bit about what CPAs should be doing to initiate change in their firms and why it's so hard.
Well, the problem we have is that we've never been a more successful profession than we are today, and so that's why that quote is so perfect, because why would you change anything when things have never been better? The problem is that things have never been better, but that doesn't mean they will continue to be better. There's another title of a book by Marshall Goldsmith, I believe. It says, "What got you here won't get you there." And we have a great history, and we have a great profession, and we have a great trust from the public, and we have so many things going for us, but it also requires us to be recognizing that the skills of tomorrow are different than the skills of today, and what we do today will change because of the influx of technology, which is taking over much of our compliance work, and the access to people from across the globe to help us do work at a much lower price. So things are changing around us. And if you start saying, well, what we've done is always worked, so we're going to keep doing that, well, you may find that you wake up 4 or 5 years from now and say, what happened to my practice? And you consider that most of the firms I work with, and I work from firms from the size of probably a little over $500,000 to $100 million as part of working closely with management, I can just tell you that much of our work is compliance-based. And if that went away, because we keep talking about being advisors, we keep talking about having broader conversations, if the compliance work goes away, we might find a big part of our business goes away. And so it's really important for us to initiate change while we can. And here's the beautiful thing about that. We initiate change into a space that we already own. We already are called most trusted advisors. We already are considered valuable sounding boards, valuable contributors to the clients we serve and the employers we work for. And this is an easy space for us to move into. It's one we already have permission to. It's one we just haven't made time for. And that's where we are. This is a time right now for us to say, I'm going to start living up to the mantra that we use in our profession, and I'm going to be the advisor that we've talked about me being.
Fantastic. Speaking of things that got you there back then won't necessarily get you where you want to go, the AICPA is changing the pathways to CPA, and all of that's evolving. Can you give us a little update on what that initiative is and what's going on with that?
Yeah, there's a project that we're working on called CPA Evolution, and CPA Evolution is a joint project between the AICPA, the leadership of the AICPA, and the leadership of NASMA. And what we're looking at is simply this: if technology right now in our largest firms is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the audit assurance work, our single core service that is ours. It is our franchise service. If more technologists are being used to do that work, then don't we need to embrace that group as being CPAs? Now, I'm not talking about the software developer. I'm not talking about the gamer. I'm talking about the people that right now, the data analysts, I'm talking about the people that are involved in the process management, the system process work to verify what's going on. We're talking about those technologists that already are a part of our large teams in assurance work. Now, when you fast forward the fact that we have the dynamic audit solution that we're developing, $43 million was raised by firms to help us create the new audit process, the new audit framework, and jump it up an entire level. And the reason why we're doing this is because we have to protect the audit quality. We have to protect the public, and we have to simply continue to upgrade quality in the work we do. if by incorporating AI, if by incorporating blockchain into the audit process that we use, more and more of what we do will require technology skills. And therefore, one of the standard answers has been, well, just make CPAs technologists. Well, that is a big leap to tell someone you wanted to be a CPA, so now you need to be a technologist. That's too big of a gap. That might be true 7, 8, 9 years from now, because pretty much anybody coming out of school is going to have to be a technologist in any learned profession. But right now, we are utilizing and leveraging technologists to do our core service, the audit, one of our several core services, but the one we exclusively have the right to do. And we need to find a way to embrace that group. Once again, NASBA's leadership and AICPA's leadership is in lockstep. We are, right now in 2019, making sure that we talk about it, gather information. Yes, there are members in the AICPA that don't like it, and they have been vocal. There are members in state boards that have said they don't like it, and they're vocal. We get that. What we're trying to do is talk and see if we can find a way to move down this road, because we believe we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to move the profession to a place where we need to be. If we don't embrace this group, my concern is we may, some point in the future, when there are fewer CPAs on an audit than there are technologists, we may have that service in jeopardy. And our job right now is to protect the profession. It's to protect the public, and it's to make sure that we can bring the highest audit quality standards we can. So we don't know where this is going to end up, but we are using 2019 to talk about it, to get feedback, to find out how might be the best way to approach it, and see if we can leverage this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Thank you. You had mentioned in your opening statement with the AICPA, when your welcome speech, that Barry Melanson often used that quote of learn, unlearn, and relearn. That you're a student of the black belt, the karate and jiu-jitsu and all of that. You have a different take on that learn, unlearn, and relearn. What is that?
Well, in martial arts, first off, failure is a major part of the evolution. We have all kinds of sayings we use in our school. One of them is let go of what you think you know. Another one is invest in failure, invest in loss. But all of it comes down to this idea of if you don't get comfortable with failure, then you're not going to get better. Now, Barry's comment that, by the way, it's from a number of books. Lewin had a unfreeze version of it in his book, and it's been around a long time to basically say, to get people to change, you have to go through a process. The unlearn and relearn process, the struggle that I have with that is that most of us are willing to unlearn and relearn when we realize what we're doing is broken, when we realize what we're doing no longer works. The idea that we talk about is learn, try, fail. You want to constantly be in the cycle of learning something new, trying it, failing, learning from the failure, trying it again, going through this loop over and over, because that is a constant loop that you'll be going through life. You never get to the final end. I remember when I, 30 years ago, started out to work on my black belt in martial arts. I thought, by the time I become a black belt, I'd know everything, and I could just kind of teach and practice my trade. And what I realized was, by the time I became a black belt, I didn't know anything. And what I saw was a whole new world that I didn't even know I had the opportunity to learn. I didn't even know that information, that level of control, that level of management of yourself was available. And it all comes from the same philosophy. I want to constantly learn, try, fail. The reason why I comment about what Barry says is our philosophy says you need to constantly do that. Every day you need to come into the school and you need to start out, let go of what you think you know, and try to get better. Let go of everything you think you know and try to figure out how to get better. I don't want our members, I don't want our profession to sit and say, I'm willing to unlearn as soon as you prove to me that what we're doing is wrong. And this is not about being wrong. As I said, we're never done better. It's about us getting better. Because if you think where we are is good enough, then that may be true for you, but it is not true for the profession ahead of us. It is not true for the people that will be behind me when I retire. And this is what these changes are about. It's not about what happens in 2 or 3 years. It's about the profession we leave behind.
Any words of wisdom for students, young CPAs, people who are just starting in the profession, who are looking to, the next 20, 30 years? Any words of wisdom for those folks that you can advise them?
Well, the first thing I would say is it's not really words of wisdom. If you're a student and you haven't made your choice, then become a CPA. There's no better profession. There's no profession that gives you the latitude of what you do. We have people that are everything from accountants in public, which will do every kind of job you imagine, since we have all kinds of specialties, to members in business and industry that do every job from CEO to head of marketing to head of engineering to head of VP. You name the job. We have CPAs that do that job. The CPA license itself gives you permission to use that background in any other job because it is the universal language of business. And I've never been more proud of any profession than ours because we simply have grown in scope of services more than any other profession has, and we're doing a really good job because trust has never been higher for us. So if you're a student, pick us. You'll never look back on that. And if you are a new CPA, be happy about it. Don't get carved in. Don't get narrowed into this is who I am, because you can be anyone you want to be in this profession. You can do anything you want to do in this profession. What you've done is you've gotten the basic language of business. Now, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you wake up in the morning and say, that's what I'd be excited to do? That's what you should be doing. And there's every opportunity in our profession to do whatever it is that you're passionate about.
I really appreciate you coming and speaking with us today, and it was great hearing your session at the convention for kicking off our CPE, which was fantastic. We hope you have a safe travels back home. Thank you for making us the second stop on your 21-day tour all across the U.S. This has been fabulous.
It's my pleasure. I love Tennessee, and I love the society. I've been working with your group for many, many years. You're fantastic to work with.
Well,
it's great to be here.
Thank you. And if you all like our videos, be sure to like our Facebook group page at TNSCPA, and then like our videos, so that way we can continue to do more of these interviews. If you want to find out more about Bill Reeb, or if you want to purchase any of his authored books, I'm sure they're on Amazon.
They are on Amazon. Some of them, all of them were published by the AICPA, but I think now you get those through Wiley as well. So
fantastic.
If you Google them, they'll all be out there somewhere.
They'll all be out there.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye.